the Georgia Institute of Technology, it's time for the final game of championship week in the state of Georgia, with the 2017 Class 7A Boys Basketball Championship coming down to two dynastic programs, when Norcross meets Tift County on the NFHS network. And hello again, everybody. Thanks for joining us right back here on the network, your home for the 2017 GHSA State Basketball Championships. And as always, back alongside my broadcast partner, Joel Hilsman, I'm Chris Mooneyham. We're going to get right into the preview for this ball game. We'll start with the Norcross Blue Devils entering the championship game via a 10-game winning streak, 26-5 overall. Led by ninth-year head coach Jesse McMillan, he's led them to two of their 5 state championships in their program's history, and they're led by a dynamic scorer in Rayshawn Hammond.
Yeah, Rayshawn Hammond has done an outstanding job during the playoffs, up over 20 points a game, 12 rebounds. He has just been totally dominant, a man-child going to Georgia. He's been efficient, and he's got a tall task tonight going on the other side against Preston Horn.
Tift County Blue Devils, a 9-game winning streak entering the state title game, 28-2 overall, led by Dr. Eric L. Holland, their head coach, wrapping up his 8th season in charge of the program. He's led them to the postseason every year. You mentioned him a moment ago, P.J. Horn, a 1,500-point career scorer who's averaging 27 points per ball game.
Yeah, he's doing fine. Work is work, and you see him coming out there. Tiff wore those shirts. Those are the blue-collar basketball shirts. They wear it because they've got a workman-like blue-collar mentality, and that's how they warmed up. Then they went and changed. That's how they did it, and went and put the other shirts on, which are blue-collar defense. So that's what Tiff is going to bring. P.J. Horn is the anchor for the Tift County Blue Devils.
Tiff does an amazing job with their wardrobe. They had the workers' uniforms on. Their coaches have the old-school coaching sweaters on. We're going to get a shot of them during the broadcast, but first the keys to the ball game.
For Norcross, it's got to contain Horn. It's going to start with Hammonds. Thomas may have to help him out. But the savvy guard play, I think that's where Norcross has an advantage with Sturdivant and Goldwire and even the floor general and Dalvin White. For Tift County, must be physical. Physical defense, that's how they like to do. And when they get in the half court, they're not going to slow the game totally down. They have to execute in the half court to have success. Remember this, contain Horn, savvy guard play, physical defense, execute in the half court. We'll revisit those as this game goes along down in the fourth quarter.
Starters in the opening tip coming up next on the network.
This isn't just any team. This is your home team, okay? It's not about A team or B team. It's not about your boss telling you to be a team player or to take one for the team. No, home team is about pride. It's about standing strong, pulling together, and going crazy about a bad call you know is right. But because it was against your home team, it must be wrong. Look, some people just don't get it because it's not their team. But Farm Bureau Insurance does, because everyone needs a home team for insurance, and we are that.
Time now to meet the starting lineups for our combatants in the 2017 7A Boys State Championship. Let's start with the Norcross Blue Devils. Be Rayshawn Hammonds, Lance Thomas, Devin Dennis, Kyle Sturdivant, Jordan Goldwire. I beg your pardon, Dalvin White. Dalvin White as opposed to Devin Dennis. There's your Norcross starting lineup. 5-time state champion, a 1-time state runner-up, which may have been their best team in program history, by the way. Jody Meeks was on that club, but I'll spare you the history lesson for right now. What do we think with these guys out on the court?
It's going to come down to Sturdivant and Goldwire and White. I think they have the advantage at the guard spot as long as Hammonds does what he's supposed to do. Lance Thomas may have to step a little bit. They must be careful with the foul trouble, though, because in the half court, we mentioned it, P.J. Horn, they are going to be physical.
Meanwhile, for the Tift County Blue Devils, Fred Lloyd, Micah Johnson, Rashad Bateman, Marquavius Johnson, the guy they call Little Man, and Preston Horn, P.J.
Talked to Coach Holland in the tunnel. He stayed in the tunnel the duration of the workout. The pregame warm-up, just focusing on what he wants to do. It's South Georgia. That's what Tift County is. Just want to get Chris doesn't give you the history. I'm going to give you the geography. We're in Atlanta. Georgia is a top-heavy state. Tift has always been solid on the basketball floor. Tift County, Tifton, It's a nice area to go and visit and live, but they don't get the respect so much as a lot of South Georgia teams will say, okay? They're not underrated to me. They're underrated to other people that aren't in basketball, that don't follow basketball. I did not pick them to be here. I'm not surprised that they are here.
Right.
Because no one picked them to be down in Macon a couple of years ago and hoisting the championship. Holland has developed the program. They've continued to develop the program, and this is the result. It's not a surprise to those inside of basketball, but it is a surprise to those that don't make the trip down to Tift County.
Well, I was showing you my notes as you were saying that. One of the more underrated programs in the state over the last 3 decades. People forget this club has the longest active playoff appearance streak in the state currently. Speaking of Tift County, they haven't missed the playoffs since 1993. They're a two-time state champion in 14 and 96, and they were runner-up back in 2004. 5 semifinals in that time. Last year, they were knocked out in the state Sweet 16 by Milton. It's Norcross to your right in the brushed metal and blue and white. Tift in the white-based uniforms with the blue trim. And Tift with the opening possession of the 2017 7A state championship game. 17 state title games, including the wheelchair division championship, over a 4-day stretch. And it'll all be over in about 2 hours or so. This is our final game of the week. One thing I love about Tift, besides their fashion wear, they also have Tift on the back of their jerseys. Not names now, but the school's names. Up and in the first bucket of the ball game for none other than Micah Johnson. I beg your pardon, Preston Horn, PJ. Lance Thomas misses the jumper. They don't always want him shooting those jumpers. That's not really his game. Micah Johnson had a tremendous state semifinal. 15 points, 9 rebounds, 5 assists. Had the chance to see him. He was tremendous.
I like Coach's Row right now. I see some very, very basketball-savvy people. Coach's Row sitting courtside.
Bateman back up to the top in Johnson. Micah, who averages 10 assists per ball game. That's 2 in white. 10 assists per ball game. Throws up the jumper this time just inside the arc and knocks it down. It's 4-0 Tift County. Micah, a senior at 6 foot 175. To go along with his 10 assists, he'll get you a steal and, well, nearly 2 steals per ball game. Thomas down low to Rayshawn Hammonds. Rayshawn Hammonds, 18 points and 11 rebounds per ball game. Both lead his club, a future University of Georgia Bulldog. Went for 20 and 12 in the semifinals versus the Grayson Rams.
I think the only thing Tiff didn't do on the way up here is change the tires and the oil on the bus.
Johnson weaving through traffic, goes baseline. Now back to the top to clear things out. PJ, back iron, no good.
Don't need him to do that so much. I know PJ wants to try and show the range, but in this game, I don't think that's going to be vital for him.
Rayshawn, big step at the arc, gets to the rack, can't hit the shot, goes out of bounds, and Tift has it back. Four-2 ball game.
Coach Jesse Mack, man, so much success here at Norcross following behind Eddie Martin, who, of course, you and I saw earlier this week win his 8th championship, first at Buford. But Coach Jesse Mack now has put his imprint on this team. And Norcross, they are one of the teams, I talk about scheduling a lot. Good steal. Finish it off, Sturdivant.
Kyle walked.
Traveling.
Kyle Sturdivant was flying to the bucket there. Good defensive play by Micah Johnson to force him into the walk, or at least help him into the travel. And we go back the other way.
And Norcross, over the years, has continued to schedule tough. So when they get to the state championship, trust me, they are well tested. I give them the slight edge over Tift. But Tift, man, like I say, just because they down 75 don't mean they can't hoop.
Rashad Bateman can't knock down the three. He's 35% from beyond the arc. And here's Hammonds leaning in.
Got the foul, but he's
foul.
way out of control. Just out of control right now.
And he nearly could have been hit on the charge.
And he's sound enough to with the ball handling, but that's a situation there he must be careful with. But we mentioned him in the open, Chris. Monster state tournament, and I think one of the most important games was the Pebblebrook game, the Elite Eight game. Jared Jones, who was out with injury, and he was able to go for 22 and 15. But that was the second meeting of the year against Pebblebrook. When Jones was there, Jones neutralized him, held him to 4 points. He had 4 fouls and 6 turnovers, and Pebblebrook won. Pebblebrook, not enough size. Hammonds took advantage of that, and that has put them on their way because that game there, I think, no disrespect to Grayson and Coach Pace, what he's doing over there, but that put Norcross in this championship game.
Tied at 4 now after Hammonds buries his 2 free throws. He has all 4 of the Norcross tallies. Horn back to Johnson. Micah. Lost control. Absolutely. Sturdivant has it. Kyle.
Goaltending.
Good
job
call
there by Goldwire. Goldwire got it up to Sturdivant. They are vital. The guard play is going to be vital. How they match up with Johnson is going to be vital. I think Norcross has the advantage right there. I think Hammonds and Horn can cancel out each other, or potentially could.
Nearly a steal in the backcourt. Johnson just got rid of it before he dragged his left foot, and to be honest, he may not have. No call made, so who cares what the broadcaster thinks?
3-2 zone defense from Norcross. I'm going to refrain from Blue Devils because you won't know who I'm talking about. But then I can never go wrong either if I said Blue Devils. That's an old trick I learned.
Lloyd. Fred Lloyd was dominating on defense last week at West Georgia defensively. Comes up with a rebound here and gets it back out to Johnson. It's turned into a long possession. Very deliberate out of Tift, and it ends up in a turnover and a foul at the symbol.
Anything that comes near Goldwire, he's going to take it from you, okay? Led the travel league circuit, the EYBL. If you're familiar with basketball, which I know a lot of you guys out there, you know the level of competition, the EYBL. Led the EYBL in steals. Goldwire, excuse me, not Sturdivant. Goldwire. And there again, if it comes near him, he's got sticky fingers. He's taking it.
Some kind of a defender, right? Between him on one side and then Fred Lloyd on the other. Two tremendous defenders.
Yeah, Fred Lloyd, defensive player of the region player of the year in Region 1.
Thanks for the reminder. You're absolutely right. Completely forgot that. Matter of fact, they had 6 guys on their roster that were all region. 6 guys.
Well, let's temper that a little bit. They only have 4 teams in their region.
Well, I know,
and
but
Camden County is a 1-in-28 team. So
that is true.
Colquitt County played very well. Lowndes was improved. Tift dominant, though, in that region.
Johnson. Number 2 in white, a future Alabama State man. Could be playing at the Velodrome.
The Hornets.
That's right. You been to the Velodrome?
Yes, I have.
That's some kind of place.
Get it out of here. Get that shot out of here.
Lloyd is sent away. Drive, dish, top of the key. Hits.
That's cash money right there. That's extra buckets. Yeah, Coach Holland got to call a timeout. Dalvin White, not a big volume scorer. He can go for 10 or 12, but in that situation there, leaving him at the top, able to shoot in the first quarter here, 2.5 to go, that's going to fuel him for this contest.
Dalvin, a junior guard at 5'10", who averages 8 points per ball game, 2.5 rebounds. He'll also get you 2.5 steals, and every once in a while, he'll do this.
And sometimes he's most effective, I shouldn't say sometimes, throughout the season, he's most effective in the corners. The corner threes are what he's able to do. So when he hits top side like that, that's trouble. That's going to feed him. Remember, the guard play, I think, is the advantage for Norcross. And I think it starts with Sturdivant and Goldwire. But once White gets going, he's a nice floor general. He's a 3-year starter, has started since he was a freshman. That's very, very important for Norcross.
He and Goldwire and Hammonds also all 3-year starters to go along with Thomas and Sturdivant, who are 2-year starters. Coach said, and I quote during the week when he sent me his information, we're lucky to have a lot of game experience.
You see who got that
Dalvin.
steal?
A floater, and it's good.
See, look what his power ring. The guard play again. Goal wide with the theft, came down, and now White with the float.
Dalvin 2 for 2 from the field now and 5 points.
Tift can't do
three
that.
That's off the mark, no good, and the rebound pulled away by Sturdivant.
They can't get into a one-shot game, Chris, one possession.
All of a sudden, Norcross with an 11-point lead. That three doesn't fall. Horn gets the rebound, and here comes Tift. Checked into the ball game now. Looks like Montavious Terrell. A three from the corner goes. Rashad Bateman. Bateman will do that now. 35% from beyond the arc. Do they count it as a three? Yes, indeed they do. It's 11-7. That's a big shot at 1:43 second quarter.
It is.
First quarter.
Yeah, it is a big shot. They came down, took a quick shot, one and done. Tift can't get in a track meet with Norcross.
Quite a first quarter. Been very entertaining. Hammonds scored the first 4 points of the ball game for Norcross. With Horn on top of him. Work around. Thomas. Back to White. Dalvin going to reset things at 1:15 first quarter.
Had to be careful because Terrell was going to try to come in and take them cookies while he was getting the assignment.
Lance another jumper.
He'll do that sometimes. I think Lance, he can shoot the jumper, but he'll fall in love with it a little bit. He's going to have to work on that when he goes up to Louisville.
From the corner, the three, no good for Bateman this time. And it heads out of bounds. Will stay down in this offensive end.
I know Tift can shoot that sometimes, but right now I think you want to try to put a cap on the quick shots. Get something inside. Need to go feed your horse right now. He starts out. There you go.
Horn turnaround. Right hand, couple of hops, won't fall.
Good
they don't
rebound.
mind Lance throwing up that jumper,
No,
but
not
Coach
at all.
Mack tells me he'd rather him step in about 2-3 feet inside of the arc. Whereas on the last couple we've seen him take, his back foot's been just inside the arc. About a step further in is where they'd love to have him shooting that basketball. He gets the friendly roll there at 30 seconds, and it's 13-7.
Patient now. Here comes that set. Let's see what kind of action they come with Horn. He flashes. Trying to get it to him, but there's too many men. Not enough space down there. It was congested down on the right block. Couldn't go to him.
Terrell Johnson at 7 and 6 and 5. He'll drive, push back out. Now going to be forced into an off-balance jumper that goes at the first quarter horn.
Working too hard for that, but he got the hoop.
13-9 at the end of one. Norcross out in front. Pleased now to be joined by the president of the NFHS Network, Robert Rothberg. Robert, good to see you again, my friend. How are you?
Chris, thanks for having me on, man. This is exciting. What a great game so far.
Coming out to check out the 7A championships. Of course, this is the first time that the network's been the exclusive home for the 2017 GHSA basketball championships. Your thoughts of the inaugural season?
Yeah, listen, I think it's been great. With the expansion of classifications and doing it in two locations at Stegman up in Athens and at McCamish down here at Georgia Tech, doing it on television just becomes very difficult in today's world. And so the GHSA worked with us this year and gave us the opportunity to be the exclusive broadcaster, and it's been really exciting. And I've been watching every single game in my office and at home, and I finally decided I got to come down here because the atmosphere is so great.
Well, the atmosphere here last night, you and I were talking about it earlier, was absolutely incredible. Joel and I have been covering high school sports in this state for a long, long time, and we both said it was arguably the greatest basketball crowd experience we'd seen in our time covering the state. We know that enthusiasm permeating all throughout the country in the winter championship season, and the network's very busy.
Yeah, well, I talked to Gary Phillips between games, and he said, and he's the executive director, and he said that they had to stop selling tickets last night. And when you got to stop selling tickets, that means you got a packed house. And you had Joel talking about pouring the hot sauce on when St. Pius got hot with the threes, and it was one of the most thrilling games of the winter championship season that I've seen so far.
Let's talk about this new digital ticket partnering experience that the network's involved in.
Yeah, this year we started working with Huddle Tickets. Huddle has been providing paper tickets to virtually every school in Georgia for the last 10 to 15 years. They developed a technology platform to bring high school ticketing into the digital age. The network has worked with the state associations that we're partners with, and the GHSA has been one of the leading states to start offering that at all of their state championship and playoff events, and we hope next year to have that rolled out to a bunch of schools starting for football season.
Any word on 2018? We going to be the home of the championships again, or are we still working things out?
We sure hope so. I mean, this is one of the best events that we get a chance to do, and we're really honored to be broadcasting on behalf of the Georgia High School Association this year. And, you know, right now we've got 33 games going on all around the country. Earlier today, I think it was up to about 98.
Wow.
We've got championships in Illinois, Texas, New Mexico, California, the Northeast, Oklahoma, and Colorado. So this is what we're set up to do, and it's a really exciting championship season for us.
Don't just have to be a Georgia high school basketball fan to enjoy some of the great talent across the country.
It's unbelievable, and Georgia's got some of the best basketball that we see.
Robert, thanks for joining us, buddy. Good to see you again.
Appreciate it.
Robert Rothberg, the president of the NFHS Network, joining us. The first quarter, second quarter break. Each team swapping a three back and forth. 18-12 ball game at 5:50. Terrell again. Not this time. And Dalvin White the rebound. Ironically, those two gentlemen each knocking down those alternating threes for the two squads. Driving to the rack. Sent away at point-blank range. A great opportunity for Joseph Toppin, but he's rejected, and Tift's got it back. Joel, your thoughts on some of the first quarter numbers?
Tift can't shoot the three like that. 1 of 6, 4 of 12 from the field. Norcross 1 of 5, but the rush shots, the rush offense from Tift not going well, and P.J. Horn cannot have that kind of line. 2 points, 2 rebounds, 1 of 4, and 3 turnovers.
A 5-3 second quarter so far.
Goldwire with 2 steals, Sturdivant with 1 steal. So there's the 3 turnovers, and they all ripped them off of P.J. Horn.
That 2-point advantage second quarter in favor of Norcross. Hammonds spins. He's sent away by Horn. Gets a second chance at it. Sent away again, except this time the official going to say little too much chest-to-chest contact.
Oh, that wasn't no chest
and the
to chest.
foul.
Stop being PC over there, Chris.
Well,
That's a great sound block. That's a terrible whistle. He him the first time and then came back in. If he got him with the body, it had to be low, but Horn's too long. And the thing is, Hammond now trying to take him off the dribble. Good lateral movement. Give me that. Okay, I'm going to recover it. I'm going to put it on the floor. Where's the foul? There's no foul there. That's horrible. Good defense.
If anything, there was a foul on the more a chance of a foul on the first block, as a matter of fact, because that's where the contact came from.
That's a ref anticipating it, man. Got to let these boys play.
18-12 as Hammonds misses the first free throw. So far,
ball don't lie.
He's 2 for 3 at the line. Now make it 3 out of 4. They'll get 1 out of the possession, and it's a 7-point Norcross lead. In the 40s and 50s and not see a basketball team somewhere in a given state wearing those sweaters.
And as much as a basketball guy I am, I know it has a name. I don't know the technical fashion.
That's a great question.
Name. I'm not the one for fashion. Okay?
I don't know that either, and I should know that, as a matter of fact. I'm going to scald myself and find out. Of course, we don't have another broadcast for me to come back and tell everybody. Check my Twitter feed. Tift with possession, up by 7.
And thanks to all you guys out there that have put up with Chris Alley.
And alley-oop! Rashad Bateman with the finish.
Love it. Went high for it. Went real high. Brought the crowd up a little bit. They filled in McCamish now, man.
3. Goldwire, no good. Rebound pulled away by Tift, and they push down by 5. This is Bateman. Hit with his first foul of the evening.
Johnson saw it on the back screen, going up high and throw it on down the alley. And the hoop shot Bateman. And he struggled in that first quarter, 1 of 4.
Tift's only played 6 guys so far, by the way.
Yeah, and they don't go too deep. He'll start reaching down there if he needs to, but he going to run with the guys that brought him to the show.
Two for 2 at the line, a 3-point ball game. As we enter the final 3 minutes, close in on the 3-minute mark first half. And this place, as you mentioned, Joel's come alive. Let's listen. White again. In and out this time. Jump ball call. Good battle there between two talented young men, Fred Lloyd and Robert Sims. That's Lloyd, one of the great defenders in our state, battling a wide receiver on the gridiron, and Robert Sims, guy who we got to see this year on our high school football broadcast.
Oh, yeah, Sims, outstanding wide receiver, and unfortunately he lost, and he left the football field and showed up at Hoops Giving and got a couple of runs in earlier in the season. Hoops Giving's over at Holy Innocence, one of the fine basketball events here to kick off basketball. Always that Thanksgiving weekend, and that usually comes 7 to 8 days after the state of Georgia allows you to play your first game.
We got to see Robert win a region championship in football this year. Remember when they beat Brookwood?
Yeah.
In our 6A to the Fan Friday night football game of the week. 1960.
I love it. I hate basketball ending. I get to turn my focus toward lacrosse now. Love it.
Oh, yeah, the spring season right around the corner. Remember, the NFHS Network, your exclusive home for every spring state championship in the state of Georgia. You heard me right. Every spring state championship in the state of Georgia in 2017 will unfold on the NFHS Network. Lance Thomas goes right to the rack on baseline. Love that power move by the big guy. Put the ball down, come up strong, 6'9", about 205, maybe 200 pounds, and he drops it up and in.
You didn't count the hair. That makes him 6'10".
Yep. Let me change my roster. 6'10".
But no, that's an excellent point, Mooneyham. Good for him to get a good basket there close and not just get comfortable. The 3-2 zone now from Norcross is giving Tift some issue. They have not adjusted. They got the alley-oop dunk off the back of it. But for the most part, especially with Thomas at the top of it,
Terrell.
It's a problem. You got to shoot over that, though.
Front iron.
Got the iron.
And Sims with the rebound. Thomas a 3. Too strong.
That's what I mean right there. Can't fall in love with it. But they can't push it because they're not running the floor hard. And they like to execute in the half court. That was one of our keys. But then they're going to have to adjust. Let's see what Norcross comes out now. Man-to-man screen roll actually got the switch.
Micah stumbles in the lane, has to kick out, turns into a 3 for Bateman, and it goes. Rashad Bateman.
He was hunting it, looking for the line, and back up until he got behind and popped it in. 2-point game.
Rashad only 44% from the field this season, but 35% from beyond the arc, and a 2-point ball game. Inside the final minute. Sturdivant. Trying to work around a screen by Thomas, and he does. Splits 2 other defenders and put a little too much on the layup. Lloyd was there for the rebound. Here's Micah Johnson. At 30 seconds, will they set up the offense and take things easy?
All right, hey, go to work right here.
PJ, fall-away jumper. Put too much on it. Boy, we've seen a lot of jumpers overshooting the rack on both sides.
Need to calm and settle down. But if I'm PJ, I got you faced up. Go baseline. Use your strength. Make Hammonds guard you, or at the least try and draw a foul on him. I think PJ's a little bit better than that. Falling in love with the jumper right now.
Hammonds has the strength and the length, right? But there's no doubt that Horn has the quicks and the speed and the better ball handling, putting it down on the court to where he could get low and blow past him.
Yes,
fair analysis on both cases?
Yes, and Hammond is going to Georgia. He's a good ball player, but you
Right.
got to know the scouting report.
Right.
He will foul you. If you put it on the floor with PJ's ability and his skill set, right there, that's a prime example. You catch it on the front up, you go fading away on a jumper in a two-point game. Go get the hoop, even it up. Momentum gathering points. Coach Mack calls a timeout here. Now he's got something to set up with 15 seconds to close the half with positive momentum. Oh, good shot, the passing lane.
Nearly a steal. Sturdivant is stripped. Horn's got it. They have 5 seconds.
They
They
gotta
have
go.
time. PJ standing there. I'm not sure why.
Oh.
What in the world happened at the end of the first half?
Coach Mack wanted to travel, which he should have gotten, but Coach Holland, he's not pleased with that. I don't know, PJ. You're a better basketball player than that. 2-point game. We're set up for another good one, Chris. You still in shock. Me too.
I'm mystified. I have no idea what just happened. To the half we go, where Norcross owns a 21-19 lead on the network.
This isn't just any team. This is your home team, okay? It's not about A team or B team. It's not about your boss telling you to be a team player or to take one for the team. No, home team is about pride. It's about standing strong, pulling together, and going crazy about a bad call you know is right. But because it was against your home team, it must be wrong. Look, some people just don't get it because it's not their team. But Farm Bureau Insurance does, because everyone needs a home team for insurance, and we are that.
We're taking Never Ending to the next level at Olive Garden. For the first time ever, Never Ending Classics starting at $11.99. Indulge in never-ending helpings of your most loved classic dishes. How about irresistible chicken parmesan? Can't decide? Switch it up on a refill. Plus, all the garden fresh salad and breadsticks you want. New never-ending classics starting at $11.99. The best things in life should be never-ending. At Olive Garden.
One of the great moments in Georgia high school athletics every year is championship week in the state of Georgia on the basketball side of things, and what a great week it has been. Take another look at how things have transpired here on a great Saturday afternoon in Atlanta. Laney, the Wildcats winning a state title. Rabun County made a run. This place was hopping, but then Laney did what, well, they do. They put on their defensive pressure and ran away to the 9-point victory. On the guys' side, speaking of running away to a victory, South Atlanta, they're going to be partying down on Constitution tonight. 68-33, the final on that one. And then the Lady Indians of McEachern, a 75-68 victory over Norcross, their 5th state championship in the last 6 years, their 4th in a row. And now here at the half in our boys 7A title game, it's Norcross 21 and Tift County 19. What a great, great week we've had. Some dramatic finishes, like, say, last night in the 4A classification, where Columbus and Carver Columbus ended in overtime. The Lady Tigers from Carver put together this amazing run, tied the game late. We went to overtime. Carver scored to take a lead. Columbus came down, and Tatiana Wyatt knocked down a 3 at about 5 seconds left to give them a 2-point lead, and Columbus won the state title. Upson Lee and St. Pius, boy, did the Golden Lions hang in that ball game. Got Everett Lanes 7 3-pointers made and 29 points, but Upson Lee finishes the season undefeated and as the 4A titleist. Green Forest, no big surprise there. Wesleyan comes back from 17 points down first quarter and beats Holy Innocents. A quick break. Stats coming up next. Highlights coming up next on the network.
All right, this is Adam. Take two. Mark?
I guess.
I go like this.
The best part about playing football in Texas has to be the reaction from the community.
I want to encourage others to play volleyball or choir because you get to experience new things and do stuff that you've never done before. My reason why is passion.
My reason why is pride.
Coaches teach your kids to dream. Coaches teach your kids to overcome. Coaches teach your kids good sportsmanship. Coaches teach your kids proper technique. But who teaches your coaches?
William Shakespeare said that all the world's a stage and men and women are merely players. But Mr. Shakespeare never met Stephen Curry. Ni hao, the guy who's in the gym every dang day. Patron saint of the underdog, the league's most unguardable player. Bang, he knocks it down. So my apologies to Mr. Shakespeare, because onto the stage of mere players enters the babyface assassin. And he's about to write his own story. Fall back.
This isn't just any team. This is your home team, okay? It's not about A team or B team. It's not about your boss telling you to be a team player or to take one for the team. No, home team is about pride. It's about standing strong, pulling together, and going crazy about a bad call you know is right. But because it was against your home team, it must be wrong. Look, some people just don't get it because it's not their team. But Farm Bureau Insurance does, because everyone needs a home team for insurance, and we are that.
We welcome you back inside of McCamish Pavilion on the campus of Georgia Tech. It is Tift trailing Norcross 21-19 at the half here in the Class 7A Boys Basketball Championship. Joel Hillsman, glad that you are with us across the network. Let's go ahead and take a look at the first half highlight. Your outstanding crew doing it. Tift getting it started. There's the jump right there by Micah Johnson. Johnson, 4 points, 2 rebounds, 2 of 5 shooting in the first half. A nice dime drop there by Lance Thomas to Rashad Hammonds. Hammonds, 5 points. That was his only made field goal, struggling in the first half. 1 of 7. Thomas with the block. They didn't give him the credit for the block on the stat sheet. Not sure why. Dalvin White, top side, a 3 ball. It's good. Dalvin White with 8 points. He leads Norcross in scoring. There's a theft. Goal wire on the break. I see you, White, going. Kick it out. No, they lost it. I'll get it right back. Floated off 1 foot. It's good. He has 8 points, as I mentioned, 3 of 5 from the field. But coming back, Bateman teeing up a 3 out of the corner is good. Rashad Bateman, 2 of 5 from distance, 10 points, 2 rebounds. A step back now by Thomas. Got the roll. It fell on in the milk crate. And Norcross now trying to feel good, still maintaining a lead. Dribble drive, shot, floating. Not a good shot, but it went in for Micah Johnson. Johnson, that was his second made field goal. 2 of 5, 4 points, 2 rebounds, 2 assists. White, a long 3 again. He's cooking. He's the X factor right now for the Norcross Blue Devils. Hammond's going to put it on the ground. P.J. Horn, get that shot out of here. And then again, here comes a block, but they called a foul on it again. A wonderful defensive effort by P.J. Horn. And then the alley. Mama, there's the hoop right up there high. Bateman threw it down. So Bateman has brought his energy. He has a game-high 10. Thomas goes baseline, bulls his way up in there. Thomas with 4 points, 2 rebounds, 2 of 5 shooting. And then the stumbling, bumbling Johnson back to Bateman. He finds the long line, steps behind it, and routed it right on down the milk crate. And that's your first half highlights. Norcross 21, Tift 19. Second half action coming up next right here. The Boys 7A Basketball Championships on the NFHS Network.
We're taking Never Ending to the next level at Olive Garden. For the first time ever, Never Ending Classics starting at $11.99. Indulge in never-ending helpings of your most loved classic dishes. How about irresistible chicken parmesan? Can't decide? Switch it up on a refill. Plus, all the garden fresh salad and breadsticks you want. New never-ending classics starting at $11.99. The best things in life should be never ending. At Olive Garden.
A 2-point Norcross lead. Just shy of second half play. And our halftime statistics brought to you by the West Georgia Technical College.
8 of 24 shooting for Norcross, man. That's not good, 33%, but on the same token, Tift right there in the same boat, 33%. Let's look at some of the ancillary numbers. The rebounds are even. Three-pointers almost even. I just think Tift has shot a few more rush. Points off a turnover, pretty much even. Norcross with the advantage in the paint, 8-4. Largest lead was Norcross by 9, Tift by 4. And, of course, that was very early for Tift. Shooting the basketball, we mentioned 7 of 21. The assists, Tift 4 assisted field goals on 7 attempts. So that's a good number there. 5 assists on 8 made field goals for Norcross. That's a good number as well for them as well. Foul trouble, neither team in foul trouble at all. Only 1 foul called on Norcross, 4 fouls called on Tift. Fred Lloyd has 2 of those. So I think we're in for a very savvy second half.
With that, one final break, and then we come back for the second half tip on the network.
This game is brought to you by Under Armour, maker of the world's best apparel, footwear, and accessories. Check out the full line of performance gear now at UA.com. Under Armour, I will.
William Shakespeare said that all the world's a stage and men and women are merely players. But Mr. Shakespeare never met Stephen Curry. Ni hao, the guy who's in the gym every dang day. Patron saint of the underdog, the league's most unguardable player. Bang, he knocks it down. So my apologies to Mr. Shakespeare, because onto the stage of mere players enters the babyface assassin. And he's about to write his own story. Fall back.
Back at the McCamish Pavilion, Crimmins Court, on the campus of the Georgia Institute of Technology in Atlanta. The 2017 Class 7A Boys GHSA Basketball State Championship game, where Norcross looks for all-time title number 6. Tift County looks for all-time title number 3. Back alongside Joel Hilsman, I'm Chris Mooneyham. Thanks for joining us. All right, Joel, let's use our imaginations. As we look at the keys to the ball game, let's say that you are Coach Mack and you are Coach Holland. What are you telling your guys playing into the keys to the ball game?
You know that's got to be some imagination. That's why I'm up here. But no, revisiting the keys of the game right now, containing Horn. So Horn is 1 of 7 from the field. Savvy guard play from Norcross. White, 8 points. Sturdivant, 2. Goal wire, no points, but he has 2 steals and 3 assists. So right now, I'll say Norcross doing those things. Down to Tift, physical defense. Well, they only have 1 foul, and they have 2 block shots. They've turned the ball over and only have 2 steals, so I think they need to toughen up there, executing a half-court offense. They haven't done that well, although they have 4 assists on 7 field goals made. But executing, because they got quick trigger shots. Out of their 21 shots in the first half, 13 of them from beyond the arc, and a lot of them, in my opinion, will rush. Bateman, 2 of 5 from distance. Trail, 1 for 2. But Norcross containing Horn right now I think is effective. Not to say that Tiff isn't doing a good job on Rashad Hammonds, who's 1 of 7. So those are our keys to the game so far as we get ready for the second half.
Ended up being a 10-8 second quarter in favor of Tift County, by the way. We know that we get new viewers. Folks join us throughout the ball game, throughout the championships, get home from dinner tonight and say, oh, man, let me hit up the network and check out that 7A state championship game now that we're back home, honey. 13-9 first quarter in favor of Norcross, 10-8 second quarter in favor of Tift County, and that's how we reach 21-19 in the boys' 7A state title game.
Going to be a fun second half, guys. Glad that you are with us across the network. And, you know, if you're with us on the network, we're glad that you're with us. The crowd here in McCamish, second day in a row, has been outstanding. And I know that there's been a lot of chatter about the games not being on television, but you still can view the games. And Mooneyham and myself, we've been around just a little bit, so we know what's going on in the high school world.
A little bit, absolutely.
All right, let's go, man.
And this place has filled up, by the way. It is near capacity. I'll call it 80%. Rashawn Hammonds with P.J. Horn on him, trying to back him down. Left hand, no good, gets his own rebound. Great defense coming flying from behind and knocked away by Micah Johnson. And Fred Lloyd there to pick up the loose ball.
Good first possession defensively there for Tift, using the physical defense. Now let's see, can they be patient, execute here in the half court, and tie this ball game up?
Johnson gives off to his teammate Johnson. Marquavius from Micah. In the corner to P.J. Marquavius. Little man, back iron. No good, and the rebound pulled away by Rashawn Hammonds. Dalvin White hit 2 threes during the first half. Big jump step. Can't get it to fall. And Tift's got it back.
Both teams still, to me, seem a little uptight. 1-3-1 zone defense. Hammonds on the top, Thomas on the back. Great adjustment. Let's see what Coach Mack can get out of this.
Out of sorts. They seem a little out of sorts offensively.
A 1-3-1 is trouble right now for Tift. There's no movement, no cutting. Everything is just right here outside the arc. They're trying to look for advantages, but now Horn finally comes. There's no movement.
Johnson down here on the near side. Micah.
This is poor zone offense from Tift at the moment.
Marquavius. Back to Micah.
Now he's sneaking on the backside.
Coach Holland's hollering at Micah.
Now he's going to set this screen. But they're not moving, Chris. There's nothing there to try and keep the zone from moving.
But you made a great point.
Patient, like they're going to open up something.
But you made a great point. Bateman's down here on the baseline. Second time he's trying to sneak down to the bottom. You can see him on your screen. They can't find him. Horn's going to drive, lose control, and they'll say he was fouled, and that's the reason he lost control of the handle. That's a 50-50 call at best.
That's too long of a possession for Tift. There's no offensive movement, and the screen, even by Horn coming up at the top, wasn't hard enough. So Coach Mack dove down into the playbook and pulled out a 1-3-1, but I like how he has Hammonds on the top and Thomas on the back. Now, would they switch out of it or would they stay in it? They're going to stay in it. I would, too.
Lloyd. Fred gets the roll. Tied at 21. 2 minutes into the third quarter.
Good move. That time now he had him on his back, made the move into the middle. Thomas went to block it. He's got the height advantage, but the jump hook, a nice move, and he put it in.
Oh, my. Goldwire got away with an elbow to the midsection of his defender. Tift back down on the offensive end, doesn't get the bounce, but Fred Lloyd, no, I beg your pardon, Micah Johnson going to the line.
And I'm not trying to be really critical of the Tift offense. That's called executing in a half-court offense, but that possession, that was a long possession there with no movement outside of Bateman on the baseline. You know, you look and try and pick and choose your spot. The zone offense could have been a little better. Now, after the foul, it was a little quicker, and they were able to go down there and get that hoop.
2 fouls on Norcross early, second half. One of 2 at the line. They've got the lead for Micah Johnson. And Tift County has taken the lead, as you mentioned. Oh, my. What a defensive play.
Wonderful.
But they're going to decide to slow it down.
Executing in the half court. Now, defense has changed now. It's still a 1-3-1, but now they brought Hammonds into the middle.
Micah misses the first, gets the second opportunity up and in. Micah Johnson makes it a 3-point game at the 5-minute mark, and he's up to 7 points.
Norcross yet to score, so it's a 5-0 start to the third quarter for Tift.
6-0, my friend. Don't mean to.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. No, 5.
No, 5-0. See, that's why I don't do math either. I beg your pardon, my friend. I thought it was 21-18 at the half.
Nice
my
move,
mistake.
Hammonds had to have that second made field goal. And he's got to get going. He's up at, 20-12 in the playoffs? Now let's see. They go back to the 3-2. So Coach Mack switching it up a little bit defensively in multiple possessions and where he's having personnel. Good drag follow here by Sturdivant in the corner. So now Tift going to come back and hold the basketball.
And Coach Holland wants him to hold it up, but he wants him to bring it in just a little further.
But go wide.
My goodness.
He's got sticky fingers.
PJ. Corner 3. Bateman, not this time. Ball rolling around loose down there. Picked up by Johnson. Micah going to decide to drive down into the trees. Kick out. 3 ball. Little man can't hit. Rolling around loose down there, and it's picked up by Sturdivant. Kyle pushing. Into the lane. Contact. Charge.
Wow. Okay, offensive. I thought he got hit before the charge, but okay. Center official made the call. Not going to get on him too much about that. Sturdivant trying to get downhill and get to the hoop. He's yet to score. He has 2 points in this contest and trying to change it. Yeah, I thought he got fouled before he knocked him down there. Looked like he got pulled on the right arm maybe, but that's not how the center official saw it. Tift now with the lead.
Oh, gosh, what a dangerous pass. Bateman can't get that one to fall.
They are living by the 3 right now.
Hammond. Dump off.
Oh,
Thomas.
A wedgie. A wedgie. That's a jump ball, by the way.
Thomas was stuck right at the rim. That one gets caught in. Arrow in favor of Tift. 3:27, third quarter. Low scoring.
Yes.
Dramatic affair. The score being low, very important to the storyline of the ball game.
3-0 foul count, by the way. 3 Norcross, none Tift.
Also important.
But see, at the same time, Tift, we talked about executing in the half court. They're being deliberate now as Norcross kind of changed up their defenses. But then they resort to a 3, or they have most of the time. Bateman.
Another 3. This time Bateman hits it after 3 or 4 misses. That's got to be his second or third of the affair. I'll draw up the number for you. That'll put him at 3 of 8, I believe. And it does. 3 of 8. He's up to 13 points, Joel.
But, Chris, I talked about the guard play from Norcross being essential. Bateman now is almost taking that away. And Horn just picked up a foul down there on Thomas. But out of the corner, Bateman, he's got confidence. He's knocking down balls. What is he up to, 13 points now?
Indeed.
Yeah. So he's playing with good confidence right now.
Meanwhile, the 2 stars of the ball game.
Hammonds and Horn.
Hammonds and Horn, yes. Hammonds at the line, 2 of 10 from the field, 3 of 4 from the line. So at 7 points, the majority of his points, well, I was going to say it looks like will be coming from the line. He's at 7. But P.J. Horn, one of the top players in our state, soon to be playing at Virginia Tech, a 1,500-point scorer in his career, 27 points per ball game this season. Well, that young man, a 4-year starter with just 2 points in the ball game, 1 of 7 from the field still. 2:28 mark, 2:25 mark, 2:20 mark coming up. Ball still loose, picked up by Terrell. He'll drive and dish. Horn with the dunk. P.J. Horn says, hey, Mr. Broadcaster, got something for you. It's 2:15 remaining, third quarter in a 5-point game.
Send it in, big fella.
Toppin into the ball game. Joseph Toppin, 10 in gray and blue. An air ball jumper from Thomas. Push. Micah off glass and rim, and it's tipped up and in by Horn. 4 quick points for P.J. Horn. No, wait a minute now. I think they're waving that bucket off, but I got to tell you something. I'm not so sure about that call. 29-24.
No, how can they wave it off and then grant the timeout? Let's see. It's called by Norcross. Let's see if we can get that.
I don't think they gave him the bucket. They haven't changed the big scoreboard unless I missed it, and I'm checking the stats here.
And that's what the
He's still sitting on 4.
Doing.
They didn't give him
the TIF assistants were checking with their scorer.
Yeah, and Holland, Coach Holland, he's not in your screen. You know why? Because he's out there talking to the official who I believe made the call. He's just off to the top right-hand corner of your screen. He doesn't like the call either. And again, I'm completely impartial. Always have been, always will be. But for the sake of throwing in my 2 cents and being accurate, gosh, I got to tell you something. I think that ball was off the cylinder, off the rack, and coming front. We'll get a good look.
Yeah, no, that's a good tip.
That's a tip in.
It's a good tip.
Well,
that's
look.
A good tip from P.J. Horn.
Officials can't always get it right. They've done a pretty good job here tonight. We'll stay at 29-24. I think they may have missed that one.
Yeah, they missed it.
It happens. It'll stay at 29-24, 5-point ball game, 1:55 remaining third quarter.
Crowd saw that replay, and yeah, that's a poor call.
A lot of energy in this building. Hammonds going to drive, charge through a man. A P.J. Horn playing some really good basketball right now on both sides of the court.
Yeah, P.J.'s kind of pumped up now. He done took them 2 points away from him.
Rashawn Hammonds is checking out of the ball game.
That's okay. That's okay. Minute and a half, maybe a blow, plus the quarter break as well. We'll see what Coach Mack does. Maybe want to settle him down. Coach Mack, of course, knows his team better than we do, but he may see something there that this minute and a half will provide.
There's very few guys in this state that knows their team as well as this coach does know his young men. They absolutely love Jesse McMillan, and it's been that way since, well, really since he took over the program.
Yeah. He's done a fine job with the program.
Yeah.
I'm loving the crowd, though.
Yeah, this place is hot tonight. It really, really is. Here's Horn. P.J. kick out. Bateman again.
Rashad Bateman, give me the hot sauce. Give me the hot sauce. Bateman is on fire, and he has been playing with confidence and continuing to shoot the long ball.
Rashad Bateman going to have a decision to make. Oh, my!
Right
back down on the other end. Jordan Goldwire knocks down the three.
And he turned and looked at Bateman and said, I'm 5, you're 5, and my 3 was deeper.
And it's a 5-point game. Tift County
Backcourt.
with the lead.
He missed it.
At 40 seconds. Terrell driving, dishing. Floyd is sent away by Toppin, and a jump ball.
Not going to go baseline. Way to meet him at the rim. Good jump ball call there, Chris.
Tremendous defensive play by Joseph Toppin, the junior guard at 6'6", to get up, get his palm on that basketball, and get his team the possession. Thomas saved it.
Quickly, like they were up against
Goldwire. Not this time, back iron. Horn comes, Lloyd comes flying in for the rebound, 25 seconds. Hold for the last shot.
Very well. Yeah, I hold for the last one right here. Unless I just get something wide open. But, heck, at the same time, I would take, let me see, I've got, Johnson out there. Let's set something up for Bateman again. He's camped out in this left corner.
Terrell threw it away.
Oh, man. Miscommunication right there.
Yeah,
7.2.
He thought Bateman was coming to him down here on the sideline.
Oh, that's not, don't go backwards.
7 seconds, 5 seconds. Dalvin White, he's been clutch. He's floating to the rack, and he's fouled.
Got the foul. Good job. He thought about pulling the long 3, but he checked the clock and saw that he had a little bit more time and a couple more dribbles. Maybe boom, boom, 1-2, and he got tripped, and he's going to the line. Norcross really kind of needs this, though. And, of course, remember, Hammond's on the bench right now, stealing minutes a little bit, getting him ready for that fourth quarter.
Dalvin White.
6 points in the quarter from Norcross.
5'10" junior guard. Headed to the free throw line. So far, Dalvin, who knocked down 2 early threes. He's 2 for 3 from beyond the arc, 3 of 6 from the field. His first free throws of the contest, 8 points total. These are big at 1.6 third quarter. 5-point game. The little righty. What a third quarter. What a third frame in the land of Yellow Jackets. 2 free throws for Dalvin brings it to a 3-point ball game, and we're at the end of the third quarter. High-level athleticism in the third frame out of both of these teams. It's a low-scoring affair because of the defensive intensity from both of these squads. Tift County 32, North 9. A 3-point affair in the 2017 7A Boys State Championship game on the network.
Olive Garden delivers the final moments. Bring home Italian favorites and they'll cheer for you on game day. Olive Garden is the official dining room of high school sports, and with the new catering delivery service, you never have to miss a moment.
We're taking Never Ending to the next level at Olive Garden. For the first time ever, Never Ending Classics starting at $11.99. Indulge in never-ending helpings of your most loved classic dishes. How about irresistible chicken parmesan? Can't decide? Switch it up on a refill. Plus, all the garden fresh salad and breadsticks you want. New never-ending classics starting at $11.99. The best things in life should be never-ending. At Olive Garden.
A third quarter in favor of the Tift County team looking for their third state title in program history. The Battle of the Blue Devils is going to come down to this fourth quarter on the NFHS Network. Back alongside my broadcast partner, Joel Hilsman, I'm Chris Mooneyham. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. A 32-29 Tift County lead. Tift won that third quarter 13-8. 13-8. Micah Johnson fouled at the top.
Chris Hammond's 2 of 11 now. 8 points, 8 boards for Norcross. White still with the team high 10. Bateman up to 16, shooting 50%, 5 of 10 from the field, 4 of 9 from deep. Once you get to 4 threes, man, I got to start asking for the hot sauce.
Horn not this time. Ball loose. Sturdivant comes out with it. No, that's Goldwire who has it. Jordan Goldwire came away with the loose ball. Here's White. Dalvin back iron, no good. Loose ball picked up by Lloyd. He's going to send ahead to Micah Johnson, who's going to try to take on 2 defenders. Hang in the air. Layup won't go. Back down at a frantic pace between the two teams. A 3. No good. Rebound Floyd. Who will decide to slow down the pace?
Well, the score is slow, so let the pace go a little bit. Toppins was running wing. Bateman.
Not this time. And
Toppin got
the
that rebound on the last possession. I don't know if you saw him try to go flare. That could have been a nice alley-oop. Toppin with springs in his legs, a very, very good jumper and leaper.
Tift County below 35% now in shooting. They were at 37-4 to start this quarter. Norcross, meanwhile, under 29%.
And defensively, Tift has held Norcross to back-to-back single-digit scoring quarters. 8 in the second, 8 in the third.
That's a great way to look at it. That's a great way to look at it. Much needed bucket there from Lance. Top, who averages 10 points and 9 rebounds per ball game, also leads his club in blocks at 2.5 per affair. He'll be playing his college ball at Louisville. Had a big defensive ball game against Grayson, number 1, with what I used to call the jagged box. That's what we called it.
The jagged box?
Yeah, because you had the box, the box hairstyle.
Okay.
But if the top was flared out, that's what we used to call it back in the hood. I grew up in the hood, for those of you that don't know. And when they take it and kind of flare it out and make it chunky, they called it the jagged box. It's the truth.
I'm not saying it's not.
I don't know
the
what
truth,
it's called
Chris.
now. What do the guys call it? I didn't even know the box was back until about 2 years ago.
I'm always with the temp fade or the even Steven, so I have no idea.
1-point ball game. Johnson. Timeout called, I believe. Yes, indeed. Eric Collin has called a timeout, and man, is he hot.
Yeah, he's 38 right now. You don't want none of that. He's very, very upset. Had to burn that timeout. Vital now. Each team with 2 timeouts here, 6:23, so plenty of time to go. And note, Tiff is in the bonus. The foul count, 6 Norcross, 2 Tiff. Rebounding advantage was +1 Tiff as well. We talked about P.J. Horn. Just want to look and see how he did in the third. Stepped it up a little bit. Was 1 of 1 shooting in that third. Of course, they took away the tip from him. But still, it's a quiet night overall. 4 points, 4 rebounds. And Coach Jesse Mack now really getting into it. I love Coach Mack. And just we talked about programs. And Coach Islands did this. And you can attest to this more. I think this is more in your wheelhouse. But Coach Mack, what he's done with that program over the last couple of years, they're going for what, number 6. Eddie Martin won 3 championships at Norcross. Right. He's won 3. Coach Holland's got a championship there. A lot of the teams over the course of this weekend here in Georgia on the NFHS Network, the programs are either rich in tradition and have been built well, right, or you're seeing the fruits of teams that are laying solid foundations.
That labor, the fruits of that labor. That's a great, we talked about that throughout the week, and tonight we have 2 what I like to call dynastic teams, but we've seen a lot of programs that are laying that foundation, as you said, building towards the future. And they're going to hit Horn with the walk.
And I know I talked about Norcross's schedule earlier. Tift didn't play this grand glossing schedule either. But if they somehow win this ball game, that's going to be one heck of a playoff run. Marietta, Berkmar, Newton, a very, very good McEachern boys squad who we may see them the next couple of years. Yeah, undefeated.
Right. Speaking of Atlanta Foundation.
And now, yes, Mike Thompson now he's paid his dues there at Norcross. Let's just be honest. Coach Thompson is outstanding.
I saw them about 5 years ago. They were not good.
Yeah, not good. He's put out some talent here and there, but well, he's got it now, and they're young. Okora and Cooper and Akinbola, and man, they're gonna lose Trey Peoples in there, but they still got some stuff that's gonna come in there. They easily could have been there, but Tift, if they win this game, that playoff path is gonna be just as good as anybody in the nation.
I was happy to see Berkmar was back.
Oh yeah, Al
after
Durham,
a little bit of a dip.
Zach Cooks did very well with them. Durham gonna take his game up to Bloomington.
Thomas, Lance Thomas hits the jumper. The future Cardinal gives Norcross a 1-point lead. We're going back and forth on Crimmins Court.
It's going to be interesting. And then the thing about it is, as much as you love high school basketball, and I know a lot of people may feel this particular way as we take a look at Lance Thomas turn, face up, but the travel ball season is going to be very good. It's going to be outstanding, and then that kind of brings you back into the high school season. That's how we kind of can peg it. Georgia's loaded with talent. 7A, 6A, and 5A will three of the strongest classes in the nation. Nice putback.
Micah with a fourth opportunity for Tift offensively. Puts it up and in, and Tift with a 1-point lead now, 34-33, nearing the 5-minute mark in the final frame. Or is it? Foul.
GHSA, though, has got to be pleased with the attendance at Stegman.
This is unbelievable.
And here at Georgia Tech McCamish Pavilion. It's a championship basketball, man.
Now, just imagine if we had a tournament of champions.
Oh, that'd be great. Don't get me started
We could play here next Saturday, the opening round, 4 games. Then on a Wednesday night, you could play the 2 semifinals. Then the Saturday after that, a championship game, all classifications. All right, anyway.
It'd be lovely now. It'd be lovely. And I wouldn't care about the classifications because, I mean, South Atlanta showed they can play with anybody. Green Forest can play with anybody. There's a deep three.
Goldwire. Jordan can't get it. It hits back iron, and it pops up in the air. Oh, my. Outlet. Ahead. Johnson gives off, trapped underneath. And, yes, indeed, Bateman's going to the line with the foul on number 1.
Good job by Bateman. Tried to sail on the up fake. Got the foul. Rashad has played an absolutely fantabulous game. Yes, fantabulous. That's what I like to call it.
I didn't even catch it until you just said it. Bateman hits the first.
Getting closer to 20 points now. Being solid. Tift with a 2-point lead. Far from away from the woods. Norcross now 17 foul.
Second on Lance Thomas. Bateman looks for point number 18. The leading scorer in the ball game tonight, Lance Thomas, trying to lead his team to a state title. Rashad Bateman. Rashad Bateman now with 18 points in the affair. Have they changed the update? We may be up to 19. One way or another, he's leading all scorers. It's a 3-point ball game at 4:31. 2 timeouts remaining each club, by the way. Joel started the game reset. I love it. Reminding me. 7 on Norcross, the fouls, 3 on Tift County.
I understand the energy in the building.
Oh, a turnover. I'll tell you, Bateman thought that Michael was going to be standing there. They're going to say that was last touched by Goldwire? Holy smokes. All right. Well, he's got a better angle at it than I do, obviously. But what happened on the play, Bateman saw Micah coming around him to that end, and he was trying to dump it over his shoulder to him. Only problem is Micah had taken off. And now Goldwire going to get hit on a foul. That screams of frustration.
Yeah, frustration foul. Then it's 60 feet from the hoop. You're already in the bonus. It's a 3-point game. That's not smart there by Jordan Goldwire.
And so Micah Johnson to the line with his 75% free throw percentage. Micah into double figures in scoring. 10 points, 7 rebounds, 4 assists. What a really solid ball game for Micah Johnson.
Yeah,
Joe.
he has been. He's making my key about the guards for Norcross, making me be quiet. He stepped up, and Bateman shooting that thing, man. Bateman's the one I've been most pleased with for Tift today.
All of a sudden, it's a 5-point ball game.
Yeah.
White. Goldwire. Baseline. Right-handed floater. Clings around the iron a couple of times and comes to a man in white and blue.
Good ball movement. Way to be patient here. This is where you take your time, and the crowd rewards it. We got savvy basketball crowd here. They see that. That was a fine job by Tift. Now, don't go get it and get stuck over there in the corner.
Micah fouled. This looks like Goldwire again. That 3. It's 9 in total, by the way.
And speaking of fouls, Rashad Hammond with 4 fouls now. 8 rebounds total and 8 points. He's in foul trouble.
First free throw good. Micah's now made 3 in a row.
Bateman up to 18 points, man. He's played a fabulous game. And Lloyd has not filled up the scoring column, but he's got 9 boards. I like the way he's doing his work. 7-point game now. Vital possession for Norcross.
Micah Johnson, 5 of 6 from the free throw line, and they've got the basketball back. Up by 7. All of a sudden, Tift County is in complete control of this basketball game, especially with Rayshawn Hammonds now fouled out of the ball game. A major, incredible, stunning development at 3:22 in the state title game. Rayshawn Hammonds is gone.
Wow. Wow. That was not supposed to happen. Rayshawn coming in at 22 and 13 points and rebounds, and he's going to leave with 8 points, 8 rebounds, no blocks, no steals, and 2 of 11 from the field. Not a nice night for Hammonds in a championship setting.
Meanwhile, as Norcross is committing these fouls, Micah Johnson's on the receiving end of them, and this is the worst guy at the line if you're a Norcross man, maybe the best guy if you're a Tift man, as he's now made 7 in a row. I'll check the number here in a moment. Micah Johnson is 7 of 8 from the free throw line, up to 15 points, by the way, to go with his 9 rebounds, 1 board shy of the double-double. This is unbelievable. Tift with a 9-point lead. Can Norcross come back from a 9-point deficit at 3 minutes with their best player on the bench in fouled out? Thomas hits the jumper, brings it back to an 8-point ball game at 42-36. Let me do the math again. Of course, it's a 6-point ball game. At 3:08. It's a 10-7 advance fourth quarter for Tift County. Last make for Thomas, a 3. They did end up calling that a 3. That's why my math was off, not excuse making. I thought his foot was on the line. Officials make sure to go over to the scores table right as we went to the timeout, made sure that the score was correct and that the 3 was counted. They had it right on the big board. And it's 42-36.
Like those Tiff shirts, no buckets. Tiff in full control. Not over, though. 6-point ball game, but you kind of got to feel that Tiff has control of the game. Yeah, we know. That's the front row. That's basketball. That's basketball row, the coaches and scouts and some fine people that put out some fine products. 42,
3-minute mark.
Chris, go ahead.
3-minute mark. A whole lot of unhappy people in the building right now. I guess they're going to hit Dalvin White.
It's the Norcross people. But, Chris, again, we've been here all week. I want to thank all the viewers out there in Georgia and South Carolina and everywhere. And, I interact with some of you guys. And, hey, just thank you for your patience, man. Chris and I are pleased to be here with you and try to give you the coverage of basketball, high school basketball in Georgia needs. And, I'm honored, pleased, privileged, and glad to work beside you, buddy.
Thank you, buddy. The feeling's mutual, man. You and I, we rap all the time. So good to be here. Lance Thomas. Ooh. Oh, my goodness. Toppin came flying in, and I'm telling you, from our angle, Joel, you know what I'm about to say, brother. That ball was going in.
He should have left it alone.
Oh,
I told you he's got springs in his legs. JoJo Toppin will do that now. He should have left that alone. Went too high, too fast for that one.
44-36. By the way, down here on the Tift end a moment ago, Micah Johnson knocked down 2 more free throws to get it to 44-36. He's becoming the player of the ball game. 2:45 we're closing in on now. 8-point ball game. Danger time for Norcross. Nowhere near out of it, don't get me wrong, but they got to come up with stops left and right. P.J. Horn sent away by Toppin, who hops out of the building and catches the big guy, gets a big palm on it, and sends it out of bounds.
Leap, man, got springs in those legs. Doesn't have that great a wingspan, but the legs made up for it right there. P.J. Horn, now we talked about Hammond. Horn's been quiet today. Lloyd been tough on the board. It's Rashad Bateman right now. 8-point game, 2.5. Tiff trying to smell it.
Johnson at the top. How long do you wait if you're Norcross? Now they're going in for the foul. Officials don't give him that one. Micah's got it back, and he's fouled. And Coach Holland wanting the intentional.
Yeah, he wanted an intentional. I'm not mad at him for lobbying for it, but the refs know the fouls are coming now. Now the foul count doesn't matter. But the thing is, Norcross, if Tiff hadn't fouled him, they only got 3 team fouls. Only 15 points in this second half from Norcross. Defensively, Tiff just just too much. Just absolutely too much. And we said they had to be physical on defense. They have, and executing the half court. And absolutely they have. Early, I kind of got on the Chris. They're not paying attention. A simple mistake.
My goodness.
That's not good. That is not good at all. Because now you got to give the foul again. It's a 9-point ball game.
You will not see a Norcross team make a mistake like that all that often. Everybody had their mind on getting up the court.
And now there's an issue at the scorer's table.
The most basic of mistakes is made. Norcross with an incredibly costly turnover. 9-point game, 45-36 at 2:15 remaining. They're going to pull Terrell out, I think.
They said he didn't come. And I see this a lot in the high school game. Guys always go to the X. He walked on the sub, but they're not going to allow that sub because he didn't check in.
Horn goes right to the rack, can't finish. Everybody wearing white and blue thought he was pushed. This is Goldwire. He's sealed out, and now Norcross is going to get the foul.
Doesn't hurt, though. They got to take the ball out of bounds. That's only a 4th-team foul. Norcross now has got to go. They've got to push. You called it when it happened, though, Chris. The big development of Rashad Hammond's fouling out. Listen, that's 22 and 15 on the bench, and he finishes with 8 and 8. And
layup, no good. Rebound,
bunny.
Lloyd.
We've seen a lot of shots missed in the restricted area this year.
Indeed.
And Sturdivant upset, frustration brewing right now because Tiff can feel it. Tiff going to come on to Atlanta, Georgia, and get them a win. They went to Macon and got them a win. Coach Eric Holland, man, you can never underestimate him. Cannot do it. We talk about program building. They came in here with the work shirts on for the blue-collar mentality. They work hard. It's not a pretty win. It's not a high-scoring win, but it's a 10-point advantage.
Hang on now.
Oh, no, this over, Chris. The defense is just too sound. They've won this basketball game.
11-point lead, 47-36 at 1:50. Jordan going to push up. Goldwire going to try to spin in the lane. Throw one off glass and in. Back down to a 9-point ball game. They need a steal and need some threes. And the problem is, while they played great defense and have a number of steals in the ball game, boy, Norcross has not been able to buy a 3 tonight. They're 2 of
I don't like to call a game like that. There's no shot clock. You got to foul them. If it was 5 or 6 points, maybe 10, 11, that's a bit of a stretch with that much time.
Norcross, 4 of 16, I beg your pardon, 4 of 16 from beyond the arc. So they'll have to do some work to pull off a miracle comeback in this one. A sports miracle. 10-point game. Little man puts it up and in. Little man Marquavius Johnson delivers the free throw. He's 93% for the season, by the way. Is 13 in white. There he is on your screen after knocking down those 2 free throws. Goldwire gets it in to Toppin. Back to Jordan. Jordan got to take a quick 3 from the top. Back iron, no good. Rebound in the air. Norcross has it. Drive to the rack and a foul. 2 shots coming up for Kyle Sturdivant. Kyle, who went for 14 points. Very important 14 points versus Grayson. He scored at 2 really key moments I can remember in that ball game. I was on the call at the state semifinals, honored to do so over at West Georgia, and he had a couple of really, and I mean very important key buckets third quarter. 10-point game.
I'm going to just have to go on and say it. I went through what Tift did in the playoffs. You know, they came in 24th in the country. They're going to have to finish top 15, all right? There you go.
Norcross
they're a top 15 team. Tift is.
Norcross getting it back at 120.
And speaking of that, I didn't say this. McEachern, that's the top 10 ladies team, by the way. Now, they might not get that high because a lot of private schools still up there are still playing, but they're going to be in the top 25.
Dalvin is fouled, and 3 free throws are coming up. Dalvin White headed to the free throw line.
Sorry, Chris. Got to be smarter than that. 10-point game. Just get out there and put a hand in his face. You never foul a jump shooter, but you definitely don't want to do it in a situation like this. Let's say he makes 2, miss it, they get a rebound and hit a 3. All of a sudden, look at that.
And 2, he was flying at White in the corner. It wasn't as though he was facing him up and tried to jump straight up to defend. He came running and flying into him. That's even more of a cardinal sin. White going to knock down the first. He's very good from the line this year. Chances are he's headed for 2 makes. Here's his second try, and he makes it. Dalvin, just really quick today in the ball game, 3 out of 3 from the line, 4 out of 4 from the line. They just updated it on the stat sheet. He's got 12 points and 2 rebounds. 2 of 4 from beyond the arc. He hit 2 early threes in this affair. Looks for 3 on the trip. It's a 7-point game.
Yeah, it is. They're still going to have to make some free throws. They can't get the steal, though.
He lost the possession. Toppin's got it. Dalvin going to drive. White off the glass and in. We got ourselves a 5-point game at 104. I don't believe it. Actually, I do believe it. Working around now, of course.
And
they get the foul. Montavious Terrell to the line.
And Norcross has a time as well. Bateman lost it, and White, give it to me. Let's go. Go. And there's no need to foul. Nice scoop. Use the window. Yeah.
Terrell averages 5.7 points per ball game. He's a 71% man from the charity stripe. The junior at 5'8", with 3 points in the ball game. Hits the first. His first free throws of the contest. Terrell's come in and done what he's been able to all season. 4 points, got a rebound, got 2 assists. Usually he'll get you a steal as well. 2 for 2 trip. That is so big for Tift County. 7-point game. Despite some big shots for the Norcross squad here late and some turnovers for Tift, they're still keeping them at arm's length, at least for now. Dalvin White going to try to drive. Now has to kick it out to Goldwire. Jordan going to throw up a 3. They got to have it, and they hit. Jordan Goldwire knocks down the 3, and it's a 4-point game at 42-7.
Final timeout for Norcross.
This would be a comeback for the ages.
And I'd be eating crow with barbecue sauce.
I'm not even, yeah, well, there's that too. I forgot about that, but.
I didn't. Trust me.
Well, I'm sure you didn't, but this is unbelievable. 4-point ball game.
Well, it's actually not, but the body language of Norcross just didn't.
Really quick, I got to ask you. Foul immediately or try for the full court press and let them get it over half court before you foul? Because I got to tell you something. I know you're first.
Go for the steal now.
Okay, you're going to go for the steal in the backcourt first.
If I don't get it, foul, yeah.
I'm going to tell you something.
I have to foul. I've got to save the
That's
clock.
what I'm getting at. And in a 4-point deficit, I'm almost not even going to try for the trap, the full court press, I mean. I think I may go foul immediately.
Nah, I'm going to go try for the steal first.
All right.
Because, see, I know what I'm doing. If I don't get the steal in the first 2-3 seconds that I foul, because I've got to save the clock, and I have no timeouts now.
I know what I'm saying is unorthodox. I get that. It's not the book. I'm just playing a hunch.
You could just decide to go with the foul.
Right.
You know, if you want to. But theoretically, go for the steal first. If you don't get it, then foul.
This place is stunned, by the way, Joel. This place is stunned.
There was some people that left, and now the concourse doesn't fill back up.
Yeah. Oh, my. PJ's trapped. They're going to have to use a timeout, but did they give it to him?
This ref call, that's fine. That's the right call. That's the right call. That is the right call.
They're going to give Tift the timeout.
I'm sorry. I like him coming over. Tift was calling timeout.
Yep.
He was being dramatic with it, and then the official right there called jump ball. Great job, Mr. Official, for coming across the court and letting him know he saw the timeout. Outstanding. That's outstanding. I get on the refs, but I also can commend them.
Yeah,
because
absolutely.
he was emphatically beside the ref doing timeout.
PJ was trapped down here by the Norcross bench, and that was almost disaster.
And that's why
for
you don't
Tift.
foul, because he almost had a 5 count.
That's right.
He couldn't go anywhere. He had
That's
4 defenders.
I got to be honest with you. I don't know how he didn't get the 5 count. That's going to be a
same
moment I'd
way
like to
it
go
was a
back and
jump
watch
ball
on
call.
replay. Don't forget, all the state championships here on the NFHS network you can check out via the archive. Coming up here in a few days.
That's because, great job by the official coming across, realizing that they were calling the timeout.
Also, for all you friends and family members out there, don't forget you can purchase a DVD keepsake copy of today's event by clicking on the blue Get the DVD button underneath the video player.
Now, remember, he can't move now.
That's right.
He has to hold the spot on the inbound.
Feet on the spot. 39 seconds in a 4-point game. Oh, and he's fallen out of bounds. A great save. Gets it back into Terrell. Terrell loses possession. And he's lost it out of bounds. Norcross has the basketball.
That's why you don't foul, Chris.
33 and a half seconds remaining. This is turning into an incredible comeback for Norcross. Hold your breath and hold the phone. And hold your wife, too, if you have to.
Norcross, no timeouts, though. Tift's smart not to use one here. They have one left. Don't want them to set it up. They got to go quick, though.
Delvin White. You don't even need the 3.
No, you don't. You need to go quick, though.
Drive. Thomas is stripped. Now they call the foul. And now Norcross can score with no time coming off the clock.
Which is a
2 free throws. They're calling it 2 free throws, by the way, Joel. They're saying that was a shooting foul.
He was going up to dunk that. Yeah, I agree with that.
Lance Thomas, 11 points in the ball game to go along with 4 rebounds. His first is good. The future Louisville Cardinal taking his first free throws of the affair. This one to make it a 2-point game. He's got it. Remember, Norcross with no timeouts remaining. Tift County has but one. 24.1 seconds remaining. Tift County's lead is now down to 2.
And they got to get it across the timeline. They got to get it inbounds. That's a lazy pass.
A steal! A steal! Sturdivant.
Oh, he stepped out of bounds.
Sturdivant made the collection and stepped out of bounds.
Wow.
Oh, my goodness.
Oh, boy.
Terrell now to throw it in.
But he's got to be more
Tavius
solid
Terrell.
on the inbound, lazy inbound passes.
Oh, wow. They could have absolutely hit
Called
Micah
a
Johnson
foul.
on a
He's
foul on
gotta
the
get
push-off. He's trapped, and they're going to say he was fouled.
But see, listen. If the ref doesn't call the foul, you still got to get it across the half-court line on a 10 count. And there was time for a 10 count. You can't bank on that. That bothers me right there. You got to get the ball busted up. There were a couple lazy inbound passes there from Tift. And it almost burned them with a steal there by Sturdivant.
16.8 seconds remaining. It's
Big
Micah
free
Johnson
throws.
at the line. 2 makes it a 2-possession game. Micah Johnson may be the offensive star of the ball game. 21 points, 9 rebounds, 4 assists. He's 13 of 15 from the line tonight.
Chris, I ought to put my foot in my mouth. We did Carver Columbus and Columbus yesterday and saw what happened with 11 points.
Hits them both. It's a 4-point game. Still a long way to go at 16.8. Norcross needs a score, doesn't need a 3. Driving, dishing, slam.
And one!
And he's fouled! And he's fouled! Joseph Toppin is going to the line for a chance to complete the 3-point play.
There's no foul, man. No foul in this situation. No foul. Tiff is in the business almost of trying to get us away. Now it's a ball game.
Joseph
if he makes
Toppin.
it's a 2-point game. You foul immediately 10.4 because at the worst it's a 1-possession game now.
His first free throw of the contest. Hits. Toppin now at 4 points, make it 5 in the ball game. Trap in the corner in the foul at 8.6.
And they're purposely getting the ball back to Micah Johnson. He's the one got to step up here and hit him.
Norcross trying to pull off one of the great comebacks in Georgia high school basketball history. Wouldn't that be a fitting way to end one of the great weeks in the state's athletic history? Now, Tift going to toss it in from the front court. I beg your pardon, going to be at the free throw line with Micah Johnson. Norcross, no matter what happens, will have a chance to tie this ball game next time they touch the basketball. Will they need a 2 to tie or a 3 to tie?
Or a 3 to win.
First
but
things
no
first.
timeouts, though. And remember, Coach Holland isn't going to call a timeout. He's not going to give Coach Mack and Norcross a chance to draw up a play here.
Micah Johnson hits. It's
Here's
a
the
3-point
gamesmanship
game.
now. No, he called a timeout. Coach Holland called a timeout. I don't agree with. Oh, man. You give Norcross an opportunity to draw up a play. Wow, Coach Holland. I'm not going to question you. You got a championship, but I think I'd have had to play that last 8.6 there.
Micah Johnson has just knocked down his 16th free throw of the night. He's 16 of 18 on the night. 24 points and 9 rebounds. What are they thinking inside that huddle? Norcross looking for their 6th state championship in team history. Those Blue Devils, the ones from Tift, they're looking for their 3rd state title in program history. This is a battle of behemoths. 2 of the great teams in our state's championship boys basketball history. And what a great way to end arguably the greatest basketball week in this state's history. Tift County with a 55-52 lead over the Norcross Blue Devils. With 8.6 seconds left, it's a 3-point game. And remember, Tift County has committed 8 fouls in the ball game. Neither team with a timeout. On the floor for Norcross, it's Sturdivant, it's Thomas, Goldwire, Toppin, and down here on the far end, Dalvin White. They're designing this one for White, I guarantee it. Toppin gives off to Goldwire. Joseph going to push up at 5. Give off to Sturdivant. In the air. Loose. At the buzzer. No good. Tift County. They survive.
How about
the Blue
that?
Devils from Tift County are the state titleists. Norcross puts together one of the great comebacks we've ever seen, at least late, but the Tift County Devils survive. A mix of shock, exultation, and quite frankly, relief.
Outstanding game, outstanding finish. Norcross got a good look at it. They got a good look at it. Maybe not the best. They got a good look. It hurts Norcross. But I'm going to say it for you, Tift County. Y'all came to Atlanta and did it. And, you know, Chris, he don't go as much as I do. But I knew you were a good basketball team. I didn't pick you. But, man, you came up here and did it. And that playoff run you had, Coach Holland and Tift County, all of y'all down there, you pound your chest. Tift County basketball, represent South Georgia. There you go.
Let's listen. This place, it's pandemonium at Crimmins Court. Let's listen for just one moment before the break. The trophy presentation's coming up next on the network.
All right, this is Adam. Take two. Mark?
I guess.
I go like this.
The best part about playing football in Texas has to be the reaction from the community.
I want to encourage others to play volleyball or choir because you get to experience new things and do stuff that you've never done before. My reason why is passion.
My reason why is pride.
As we come back from break, I just wanted to let things settle in and let you hear the noise level in this building. The first 2 days at the Stegman Coliseum were incredibly tremendous. Here at the McCamish Pavilion, on days 3 and 4 of our 4-day state championship affair here in the Empire State of the South. Quite frankly, folks, in 24 years, I think is what I'm at now of covering Georgia high school athletics since I was a freshman in high school. I got to tell you something. I don't know that I've ever experienced 4 consecutive days, and especially the last 2 days, crowd-wise, fan-wise, like I have over the last 2 days. You see the Norcross Blue Devils headed back out onto the court to receive their runner-up trophies. Norcross trailed very late in this ball game, and when I say very late, for those of you that may just be tuning in, I mean they were right on the doorstep of death. I mean, they were pretty much out of this ball game. It was 49-38 with 1:38 remaining. 49-38. Tift knocked down consecutive free throws to build an 11-point lead at 1:38 remaining. Half the people in the joint had them written off. A third of the people in the building were headed for the exits. But out of nowhere, Norcross rallied to draw back to within 3 and have a last-second 3-ball opportunity to tie the affair. The shot no good, and Tift County holds on for their 3rd state championship in their program history. I said it at the top, this is one of the more underrated programs in the state. Over the last 3 decades, I'm a big historian when it comes to Georgia high school athletics, and this program doesn't get nearly the respect it deserves. They now have state titles in 1996 over Beach High School, in 2014 over Wheeler. They're also a one-time runner-up, by the way. They lost to that 2004 South Gwinnett team that was so good. 5 semifinals in that time. Last year they were beaten by Milton in the Sweet 16, and they felt like, no disrespect to Milton, they felt like they were an absolute Final Four club. Today, even though they weren't getting a lot of respect from a lot of people into this championship or into this tournament run, well, they were a team on a mission, and they finished that mission by winning the ring. Meanwhile, Norcross will be a state runner-up for the 2nd time in their program's history, coupling with 2005 when they lost to Wheeler in the state title game. The 5-time champions lose their 2nd state championship game. What a tremendous finish. I almost can't believe it. I mean, what a tremendous finish to an amazing state championship season. Let's go all the way back to the beginning of our 4-day affair. 16 state championship games, and then if you include the wheelchair championship division game, 17 state championship games, all live here on the NFHS network over the 4-day affair. Pelham winning a state championship, not a big surprise. Calhoun County falls to Wilkinson County, one of the great programs in our state's history. Wilkinson County wins yet another state championship. Then Buford outlasted Southwest DeKalb, the defending state champions. And the Lady Wolves, despite all of their decoration, the Lady Wolves win another state championship. For Buford on the guys' side, despite their success and their sports program success, they went on to win their first title in their program's history, and number 8 for the legendary Eddie Martin. On Thursday, Johnson of Savannah and Beach met for the 5th time this year, and this was the easiest victory by any team in the affair, as Beach won by 15 in an arch-rival ball game. Then we had the matchup of Pace Academy and Morgan County, two defending state champions from last year. Pace makes the jump to 3A and beats Morgan County, a team appearing in the state championship for their 4th consecutive time. Mays wins a thrilling 6A girls game. Langston Hughes wins the 6A title in what some people considered not a miracle run, but a second-tier type surprising run. And then came yesterday, where we had perhaps the best 2 games or maybe 3 games of the tournament. Wesleyan trails by 17 first half, comes back to beat Holy Innocents. Now have played in 14 of the 16 championships in this decade. In this century, can you believe that? Or 18, whatever the number is. Look, I've lost track. There's so many of them. Green Forest wins another title, and then Carver Columbus comes screaming back to force overtime against Columbus. Scores with about 10 seconds left. Columbus gets the basketball, comes down here to the near side, and Tatiana Wyatt, one of the great players in our state, bangs down a 3-pointer with 5 seconds left, and Columbus wins their first state title in program history. As if it couldn't get any better, Upson Lee finishes undefeated, holding off 29 points and 7 threes from Everett Lane of St. Pius. And then today, Laney wins another state title. South Atlanta finishes the drill from the last few years. McEachern beats Norcross in the girls 7H state championship game. And now every championship this year, this decade, has been won by either McEachern or Norcross on the girls' side. And then finally, we wrap up our 4 days of coverage, our 17 ball games, with a thrilling Norcross comeback and Tift County holding off Norcross for the state title. Joel Hilsman, your final thoughts.
Oh, you're going to make me say that while I'm out of breath? Now, Coach,
you're out of breath.
Yeah, I came up the steps. Just glad we were back on. Coach Holland said he called a timeout. He knew they didn't have any timeouts left. He said, but I wanted to make sure what we did was right. 55 defense, switch everything, no foul, no threes. And that's how it worked. And, that's a great guy. Coach Holland said, we don't come up here to try and prove we can play. We just do what we got to do. They got their PhD, and they got their second hardwood. Final thoughts, outstanding game. Outstanding 4 days of games. Had a couple blowouts. Had a couple games where the whistle was kind of happy. But the one thing I'm going to say, I'm so pleased with you, the state of Georgia, for showing up and filling up these 2 collegiate arenas and seeing the young men and young women in the state that can put that ball on the floor and put it in the hoop. Biggest state east of the Mississippi. There's plenty of colleges. You have to come to Georgia. You want to get some basketball players. You got to come to Georgia if you want to get some football players. But it's the basketball players that I'm proud of. I'm proud of all the coaches, winners or losers. Everybody put together that hard work, and that's the result. 4 days, 16 games, outstanding games, buzzer beaters, comebacks, just great basketball period, and glad that we were able to have it for you on the NFHS Network.
It has been our honor for the very first time here on the NFHS Network to be your exclusive home for the GHSA Basketball State Championships. Some names that made it happen: Ben Halpern, Jay Williams, Blair something or another. First time I've seen her in a long time. No, Blair Eiffeldano's back. Wouldn't have been the same today without her. Ian Russell? I'm only kidding, Ian. One of my buddies. He's not leaving me like Jay is and headed to the other side of the country. I'm still mad at you, Jay, but that's okay. Don't forget about Vince Fairnot. Don't forget about Wiley Ballard. Don't forget about Daniel Searle. Don't forget about Justin Hanover. And don't forget about Stephen Lawler and our entire crew here in Atlanta and in Athens. Oh, yeah. She's laughing over on the other side. And as always, Amy Walker, my love, thank you so much, dear. You have run this broadcast. We're all cheering here behind the scenes for Amy Walker. We'd all go off the air if it wasn't for Amy. So for our entire crew here at the NFHS Network, what a 2017 GHSA State Championship season it's been. And for my broadcast partner, Joel Hilsman, I'm Chris Mooningham. Thanks for joining us once again, everybody, for the 2017 GHSA State Championships. You watch them unfold live right here on the NFHS Network.